Welcome to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show, presented by GoMart. Go for good times, go for GoMart. With me now, I have head women's soccer coach Dodson. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Yeah, thank you, Jagger.
All right, Coach. This past week was a season finale. Lost 5-0 at Concord. Just your initial thoughts on that game.
It was a tough one. We go without some key players. Lauren Schwartz wasn't there, ankle injury, and Mackenzie Hendricks out with a concussion. But I still thought we had a chance of playing. The girls knew what we were playing for. It was that game started off pretty close, and that game for us was going to be a big momentum swing. And once we got down 2 goals, we just kind of mentally broke down. But the sad thing of it is, Jagger, if you go back and watch film, we scored the first goal and it was never counted. We had a goal go in the net, bounced out. I don't know if it bounced out from the wheels that Concord have for storing the goals, but the ball was clear across the line, and they didn't count it. We could have been up 1-0.
That's a big momentum change right there, too.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Hendricks. Her and Marceli Stoller were named All-MEC Honorable Mention. How key were those two for you this season?
Oh, it's huge. Matter of fact, I think Mackenzie should be first team. It's a shame, and I think we don't get that because we didn't make the tournament. We didn't get far in the tournament, so she doesn't get that. But she's definitely a first teamer. There's not a team in this conference, if she wasn't on, she wouldn't start.
And then, looking back for the whole year, you went 7-9-2, 4-9-2 in the league. Both were the most wins in school history, overall-wise and conference-wise. I know not making the tournament obviously hurts, but what were your thoughts on the season, just as a whole?
We're not satisfied. We're not satisfied. We left some games on the table, and we just weren't satisfied. So we're going to get back at it hard January when we come back, and we're going to try to prepare. We want to win the conference next year. We thought we had the talent to do it this year. I still think we do. We just got to get injuries in check, get Graylin back, and do a little bit of recruiting and some realignment and get ready for next year.
When you look at next year, what do you look at improving when you look at the team?
Mentality. That mentality of not giving up, never stopping, fighting to the end. That's what we're looking for now. I think we've got the talent. We're going to add a couple more pieces of the puzzle, talent-wise, but we need that. We need that little extra fight.
All right, Coach. We'll talk to you some more next season, but thanks for coming on today.
All right. Thank you, Jagger.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show, presented by GoMart. With me now, I've head wrestling coach Dylan Cottrell. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Yeah, excited to be back. Fun weekend for us.
All right, Coach. Yeah, before the weekend, you started out at number 18 WVU. You lost 35-10, but Guy DeLeonardis picked up a win. Kyle Hammett defeated top 25 wrestler in Division I, and Nick Johnson won as well. Just your thoughts on that.
Yeah, those 3 wins, that's tied for the most wins we've ever taken from WVU up there. Our team that got 9th in the country 2 years ago, we won 3 as well that weekend. But, that was the most team points we scored 9 that year, scored 10 this year. So, small improvements, I guess. I think that's the best team WVU's had, right, the one that we wrestled this year. Yeah, I was very happy with pulling out 3, and we won 3 of the last 5 matches. I wish our heavyweight could have wrestled. He's coming back from a little bit of ding up in our invite. I think we could have maybe, won a match there and won, 4 of the last 5. But, Guy wrestled well. That was one of their backups,
Yes.
Because Peyton jumped up and wrestled 74. And so, you kind of go into that one knowing, hey, we should get a win in this weight, right? And he went out there and he wrestled well. I think he wrestled a lot better yesterday, but he still wrestled well, kind of took care of business, got a major. Kyle Hammett's win was really gritty, getting a takedown with maybe 7 seconds to go. Went out early, hit a nice broomstick, kind of got 5 points, got up. The guy came storming back, which, you expect. He's ranked 22nd in the country, and he's a really good wrestler at the Division I level. And so, Kyle kind of showed his poise there and being able to kind of fend the guy off and really making him work hard to even get the points that he was getting. And that paid off, got a takedown late to win that one, big ranked win. And then Nick Johnson, really gritty. I think he's a completely different wrestler this year. He's bigger. He's in better shape. He's had a full preseason to kind of help with all that. And you rewind last year, that match at 197 was the only match that was the same between two guys. That when we wrestled WVU last year, Nick lost to that guy 16-2 last year, right? Almost got tech falled. Comes out, 1-1, takes a sudden victory, runs through a double. Goes body lock, takes him down, wins 4-1, sudden victory. And so that's a big change. And like I said, I think he's a different guy this year. I think mentally, too. Like, he's just that kind of the back of his mind knowing, right, that he has that preseason, knowing he's bigger and trusting himself more. And so those three guys wrestled really well, right? And even the guys that lost, right, the effort was there, right? And I think we learned a lot from it. We went and changed some things as quick as we could, and I think our guys implemented that Sunday against Morgan State, which I was really happy about.
And you mentioned the Morgan State. You mentioned a big weekend. It was the first ever Division I dual win. You won 27-12. You won 7 of the 10 weight classes. Just in general, what was that win like for you guys?
Yeah, it's fun, and it's really cool for the program. It's really cool to be able to put out for our social media and show people that divisions. They don't have to matter, and you can come to a small school and get the same as Division I guys are getting at programs around the country. And so, we're really excited about getting that for all those purposes. But at the same time, we wanted and knew we could go in there and win. Mm-hmm. So, if we go up to WVU and we beat them, it's a shock, right? Just the truth. It's like, holy, what did we just do?
They're top 25.
Right, yeah. But you go into Morgan, and nothing against them, right? They're a second-year Division I program. They're just getting started too, but it's still a huge win to beat a Division I. And so it's kind of that flip of the coin, right, where it is a really big deal. We did expect to go up there and do what we did, and so really excited about that. And like I said, it was again a better competition. Right, and we needed to fix things. So I really liked that we wasn't just going and wrestling a team that we could really just smash through. Like, we won 7, but 4 of those matches were really close, right? And our guys had to fight for them. So it wasn't just a real easy one, and I didn't even know then after I watched it, are we getting better at the techniques that we were struggling on? So it was real wrestling, and I felt like our guys in those short amount of days really did a good job of trying to change the things that they were struggling with in the WVU duel as quick as you can in 3 or 4 days.
And then for the week, you visited 2 different D1 schools, one that you're obviously very familiar with at WVU. You got to wrestle at the Coliseum and then go play or wrestle another D1 school. What was that experience like for you guys? You get to be on national television, on ESPN Plus, and you're at 2 D1 schools. So what was that like for them?
Yeah, part of our recruiting is telling people you're going to get to come and do cool stuff like this, right? Where you can go and wrestle at the Coliseum in front of 1,000 fans and, go to Morgan State and beat a Division I team and go to Buffalo later in the year. And so, maybe go to Midlands if it permits. And so we have all this stuff, right, where we're not just wrestling Division II points, and we need it, right? Our team's solid. We need these hard matches early in the year to try to fix things. And yeah, I was really excited with how the week went and really happy. Obviously, you get coach brain and you're always wanting more and better. Oh, yeah. But, at the end of the day, you come out the backside of it. We had no injuries from any of that weekend. We're going healthy as we can, right? Hopefully through this weekend to Finlay. And we're going to get it against a lot of really good regional opponents and Division I guys up there too. So, kind of the next thing up and ready to go back to training. Our guys will get an off day today, which they need, but then we're back at it tomorrow. So. And
you mentioned the Finlay Open. It's a big one. Once again, almost similar to the GSU invite, just like you mentioned, the D1 schools. What are your expectations out of your guys, following a big week of D1 competition?
Yeah, go up there and just compete like always, right? Not worry about the results or looking at the brackets, because those brackets they'll be pretty big, and there'll be a lot of good guys that if you're looking at it, you might be like, whoa, how do I win this, right? But those guys are going to lose to other people, right? And you just keep wrestling who's next in front of you and worrying about scoring the next point. And if we do that, we'll be okay. We got a lot of talent. I'm excited for them to get up there. I'm excited for some of our guys to be able to wrestle guys who are ranked above them, and those opportunities to kind of steal some rankings and start working your way up. Not really even about the rankings, but kind of solidifying yourself and to yourself that, hey, I'm the guy and I can be the guy here, and be an All-American, be a national champ. So I think it's going to get a lot of our guys opportunities, right? A lot of opportunities will be on the board this weekend, right? to go and wrestle good guys who are ranked below them and show that where they're at is solid, and guys ranked above them to show, right, hey, you got me too low, right? We're working hard down here, and we're ready to go. And so, we want them feeling good this week because it's an important week with a lot of really good regional wrestling. Like I said, we'll be wrestling a lot of the top guys in the region. There, I think Lake Erie, Ashland, Tiffin. Trying to think who else. Kind of drawing a blank on that last one there. But pretty much everyone but West Liberty in our region is going to be up there at that Gannon, UW Parkside. So it's going to be an exciting weekend. A lot of good wrestling for our guys coming up.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on today, and good luck this week.
I appreciate it.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show presented by GoMart. With me, I have head men's basketball coach Bob Bolen. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Oh, thank you, Jagger. I'm glad to be here.
All right, Coach. You kicked off the 24-25 season with a big win over IUP on Friday. Just your thoughts on that 72-70 victory.
Well, IUP's a traditional powerhouse in Division II basketball, so that was a great win for us, opening up a 2-point victory. And we were in control most of the game,
Yep.
And then they made a run right before the 5-minute mark and took a 2-point lead. But no, we were able to secure the victory down the stretch, and thought our guys did a really good job of playing through some adversity there in the second half when IUP made that run.
And you talk about adversity. You had plenty of that on Saturday. Before the game, got your jersey stolen, had to wear Charleston's, and you had to play the number 6 team in the country in Cal PA. You lost 84-71. Just your thoughts on that game as well.
Well, something like that can really bother kids,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought our guys handled it well. That was out of our control. We think they were taken off of the bus the night before, and our guys just said, hey, put that behind us, let's go out here and play, and we didn't have our uniforms on. Started out the game really well, and it was a close game, 1-point game with 8 minutes to go in the first half, and they went on a run, and they're number 6 in the country for a reason.
Yep.
But besides that one run, I thought it was a pretty evenly played game, and our guys showed that we could compete with a top 10 team in the country, and it's good experience. It's never good losing, and I'm a terrible loser. But it's over now, and it's time to get back to practice this week. And I was proud of the guys' effort.
And you mentioned that the first 2 games, one big win, and you faced a top 10 team in the country. After seeing them for the first weekend of the season, what did you like out of your guys as a whole?
Well, I thought some of the young guys really stepped up, and the first night. Samir and Dom had 24 and 19, and the second day they go 1 for 17. And then the freshmen came in and picked it up. And I don't know that there'll be another game this year where those two go 1 for 17. I mean, they're both really good shooters, great offensive players, and just one of those days. Now, credit Cal PA's defense. I thought they defend us really well, but I just don't think that'll happen again. And we fought through it, that one, but, getting that first win, 1-1 on the opening weekend against 2 quality teams, now it's just time to put that behind us and get ready for Point Park. And
you mentioned those freshmen, Elijah Redfern and Amar Maxwell. They played a lot, and they also produced. And I know you're already dealing with the injuries with Gadd and Collins, but was this the plan all along to get them on the court as early and as much?
They control the plan on how they practice and what they do. And, both of those have had a really good preseason and worked their way into playing time. The playing time was, I'm sure, increased with Rye's injury for the year. And, Rye and Devin were 2 of our top returners. And to not have them, and still be able to play at the level we did. And I thought it was a tribute to a lot of those guys. And, we're excited to get Devin back, and Gus. Not having Gus, when things are going haywire, you can always put Gus in. He's going to calm your team down, and being a pure point guard as he is. And, not having those 3 guys was very difficult. But I thought other guys stepped up and really played well. I thought Paul Gakmar really stepped up on the boards and defensively, and he hit some threes, and, all of our guys did.
And then coming in this week now, you'll open up MEC play kind of early with Point Park on Thursday, and you'll host PSU Fayette on Saturday. Just your expectations out of you guys as they open MEC play and you get to play at the Waco Center for the first time this year.
Yeah, well, we're excited about that for Saturday, but first things first, Point Park won 32 games last year, and they're 1-1 also after their opening weekend. They have really quick guards that are dynamic and can score. They start 6'10" and 7'2" on the back line now, but they'll go small and play fast too. So I think they're a very versatile team, very explosive team offensively. They played Pitt to a 7-point game in the first half in an exhibition game. So we know how good they are, and we'll prepare for that. And then, we'll start worrying about Penn State Fed about 9 o'clock on the way home from Point Park.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on in. Good luck this week.
Jagger, thank you.
This fall, GoMart's got your chance to kick your tailgating game up a notch. Now through the end of October, enter GoMart's Get in the Game contest for your chance to win the ultimate tailgate package. Win a $200 GoMart gift card, tailgating supplies, a pop-up tent, a portable grill, and a cooler. It's everything you need to pregame for your favorite team. To be entered to win, head to your local GoMart and scan the QR code in-store. Visit the GoMart app or GoMart.com to learn more.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show presented by GoMart. With me, I've head cross-country coach Dan Meyers. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Jagger, thanks for having me.
All right, Coach, you finished the season this past weekend at the Atlantic Regional Championship. Both men and women finished 17th. The women was the highest finish ever. The men tied their best finish ever. On the women's side individually, Natalie Barr was once again second team all-region. And broke her own school record. You had some other people shake up the all-time list. And Jenna Barnett was the top 100 finisher. Just your thoughts on how the women performed.
Yeah, it was a fast day. All of our girls ran some of their fastest first miles that they've ever been. I mean, Natalie went out in 5:40 and really, really dug deep to get another all-region honor. She PR'd. Her goal was to get under 22 minutes. So for her to be able to run 21:50 was awesome. Jenna Barnett, who's been battling an injury since conference, for her to be in the top 100 and going out there and putting one on for her team was huge. And then just going down the line, Abby Dixon, over a 50-second PR. Katie Hicks, who was our 3-4 girl all year, she ran, I think I counted 3 or 4 times since the conference meet, battling an injury, and just honestly, just an amazing effort from her to go out there and do that for her team. And honestly, it's one of the toughest performances I've ever seen. And without her, we wouldn't have been able to finish 17th for sure. And then Hannah Rowan came up big. It was another 50-plus second PR for a 400 state champion, just back in May. So for her to bump up in the distance and to do what she did and just to highlight what she really accomplished for us, because you had to be there to see it. With about a K to go, so she was about at the 5K mark. There was 2 girls from Frostburg. It was their 5 and 6 that were about 50 meters ahead at that point. And if she didn't pass their 5 and 6, we would have lost to Frostburg. We beat them by 1 point, one singular point. Unfortunately, lost a tiebreaker to Fairmont, but without that, we wouldn't even have been in that conversation. So that was huge from her. Savannah had a better race than she did when we raced that course. She was battling some sickness, and Cameron Armstrong had a PR. So just overall, really proud of those girls. We wanted a little bit more. We wanted into that top 15 mix, but to have 7 girls toe the line, and when I got here 3 years ago to barely being able to form a team, they've came so far, and I have nothing to be upset about with their race for sure, and just super happy for Natalie. It's hard to string together a bunch of good races, and across 2 cross-country seasons of her career in college, I mean, there's not one race that I would have said was a bad race. She always went out there and performed, and just a great girl that works hard, and I'm just proud of the girls.
And then on the men's side, Patrick Riley broke the 10K school record. Was a top 50 finisher, excuse me. Nick Pitchford is second all-time now, and then Mallet, Blackshire, and Utt all shook up the all-time list as well. Just your thoughts on how the men performed.
Yeah, again, a really fast race. The last time we took a team there in 2021, the times that Pat and Nick ran actually would have been all-region. And that shows how deep it was. And the time that Jackson ran, was actually about a minute faster than our top finisher in 2021. He finished 7 spots behind where our top finisher did. So just to go to show you the depth of the region is at an all-time high on the men's side. And Dylan Blackshire, Dylan Blackshire and Jackson Mallett had through the 10K had a 5K PR, an 8K PR, and then obviously a 10K PR. So they laid it all out there. And then I'm really proud of BJ and Isaac, who are 5'6", and those guys have been with me since the start. And I'm glad they got to go out on a team this strong. And I'm happy for BJ to get into that top 10 mix and ran about 2 minutes faster than he did last year. And for him to, string together one of his better races was awesome to see. And, looking back at, obviously I don't think it was quite where Pat wanted. I think he was happy with the time, not happy with the place, but he's still a freshman and that's a distance he's going to be very good at. And honestly, our performer of the meet was Nick Pitchford. I was looking at the splits. He ran for the last K, ran about the 1.1K. So about the last 1,100 meters, he ran in 2:45. So at one point he was in 66th, and then over that last probably 2K moved up 15 spots. And for a mile 800 guy, coming out of high school and someone that didn't even finish our first 8K race of the season due to a little injury and just some confidence, for him to come out there and lay down that race was huge. And I can't wait to see what he does on the track. Again, one of the best men's teams we've had in a few decades. We wanted a little bit more, but at the end of the day, I'm so proud of this team, and I can't wait to keep growing with them for sure.
And then when you look back at the season, you got Natalie Barr was first team All MEC. Patrick Riley was second team All MEC, freshman of the year. You have the both teams finished 17th at the Atlantic Regional. When you look back at the season as a whole, what do you see?
I see that a lot of teams in the conference look at us differently. I think coming in, a lot of teams knew the people that we recruited. But I don't think a lot of them understood what these freshmen could do in year one. And this is just the start. And, I think that the group needed a little reassurance because they were looking at the place and they're kind of in their heads about it at the regional. But, this is just the start. This isn't the finish of anything. At the end of the day, like I said, other teams are looking at us differently, and we let them know that we've arrived. And it's my job to keep some top level recruits on the board. It's my job to keep molding these young men and women into great people and into better runners down in the future. But this group puts in the work, and they don't take a lot of days off. And I think that we accomplished what we wanted out of this season, and I'm just happy we ended it on a high note.
Well, Coach, congrats on the great season, and thanks for coming on today.
Yep, thanks for having me as always.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show presented by GoMart. With me, I have head volleyball coach Kiara Perkins. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Coach, this past week you fell to West Virginia State and West Virginia Wesleyan. Had a chance to grab a set there in the second one against West Virginia Wesleyan. Just your thoughts on those games.
We knew going in last week there was going to be some tough competition, especially going against State. But definitely had some good things throughout the week, especially during our match against Wesleyan, even in our second set. That was, I believe, our highest hitting percentage that we've had in a single set. And I know, part of that is, just some standout performances from some people from, this whole season compared. And I think, a big piece of that is, people – they're going out and they're doing their role. So,
and then this coming in this week, you have UC and Concord to close out the year. You'll host Charleston on Tuesday for Senior Day. It's the last game for the seniors at home. What do you expect out of them in their last home game as a Pioneer?
Definitely, I'm excited and sad for all of our seniors, but I am very excited for what they'll be doing after here. And I know, going into this week as a whole, it's really just making those memories and playing your hardest, and just that's what's going to count, because these last two games, that's what you're going to remember for the rest of the season.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming on today, and good luck this week.
Thank you.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show presented by GoMart. With me now, I have head women's basketball coach Emily Stoller. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, Coach. We didn't get to talk to you last week before the season started, but kicked off the season against number 11 Gannon and Slippery Rock. First, with Gannon, you were in it until the end, until the fourth quarter. They pulled away. Just your thoughts on that game.
Yeah, I think right out the box with a nationally ranked team, you know, a team that's well experienced and has been down to the national tournament, you know, that's a very tough opponent to have right out the gates. You know, I'm proud of my team for, you know, sticking together there through the first 3 quarters. I think something that, you know, along the lines of early on this season, we're going to have to work on and find our strides in is, you know, finding that togetherness when adversity hits. And I think adversity hit in that 3rd quarter, and we pulled apart from one another. And in those moments, we've got to come together. And but really proud of their effort and really, really tough game right out the gates. And I think we saw them turn around, you know, and play a little bit tougher there the second game. So proud of them from this opening weekend.
And you talk about that second game. It was a win against Slippery Rock. You got 19 points from Shawan transfer Ty Bunting, 16 from freshman Ashlyn Riley. You turned them over 34 times. What did you like out of your girls in the win?
Yeah, I think we really, really hit hard scouting ourselves that second game. Really, really tough to go into a tournament and play 2 games back to back like that, and especially you know, coming off of a loss and kind of what direction the coaching staff wanted to go in. You know, instead of, you know, putting our full focus and our scout together for our next opponent, we went back to the books and scouted ourselves there first. And I think we fixed a lot of the things that we went over. You know, pushing the pace and not playing you know, the half court game and making sure that we make it a transition game, because that's exactly what we're, you know, known for and exactly what we're good at. So really like the pace of the game against Slippery Rock, and I think, you know, our press rotations looked a little bit better. So the progress that we saw with that, of course, with the production, and then of course the togetherness that we spoke about, I think in that 3rd quarter again against Slippery Rock is where we found you know, something different than what we saw at Gannon, and we came together and held on throughout their runs there later in the game.
And then now this week, you'll hit the road to Point Park on Thursday, and you'll get to host Bluefield State. Now that your team's played a few games together, do you expect like the camaraderie, the comfort level to be a little bit better now? I mean, you get to go on the road and you get to play at home. So do you expect that to increase a little bit with 2 more games this week?
Of course, I think, you know, the more experience that we get under our belt together, you know, it's a new style of play. We've got 12 new girls on the roster this year, and they're trying to not only figure out how to develop that team chemistry and play together and play fluently on the floor, but they're trying to figure out a whole new style of play, a whole new style of basketball. You know, different pace of game. They're no longer walking the ball up the floor. They're sprinting the ball up the floor, and they're sprinting back in passing lanes. And the expectation of the standard, they're trying to meet that. And you know, so the more experience that we get under our belt, I think the more fluent and the more comfortable, you know, everyone on the floor is going to be.
All right, Coach. We appreciate you coming on today, and good luck this week.
Thank you so much.